All right, so your homework was 393, 357, right? Yeah, 357, and then evens or odds on the next page. So remember, yesterday during this lesson, I told you that this takes time and effort. You cannot finish it in 5 seconds. That's just not how this is going to go, okay? It takes lots of time and effort, okay, and perseverance. So the first one was 9 minus 3 and 7/8. So that's what we got to do, my friends. Goodness. I've dropped those pages out of this book about 5 million times. Don't mind me. Okay, so first thing we have to do is estimate. Well, 9 is obviously 9. Now then 3 and 7/8. 7/8 is close to what benchmark? 1. Yeah, so 3 plus 1 is? No one knows? 3 plus 1, 4. 9 minus 4 is 5. So our estimation is going to be 5. So I told you yesterday, you guys were like, what are you doing there, bud? Okay, well, don't be looking at his stuff. It's not very polite. I told you yesterday, okay, we have a whole number, but we need it to be a fraction. So to do that, I'm going to borrow from my 9 and make him an 8, and then I'm just going to make a fraction, okay? And I made my fraction 8/8. Can someone tell me why I chose to make my fraction 8/8, Gabby?
Because of the fraction.
Right, why wouldn't I want to make the denominator the same already, right? If this one's 8, I want to make that one 8. So, 8 minus 7 is 1. My denominator stays the same. 8 minus 3 is 5. So my answer is 5 1/8, which is really, really close to 5.
Yay!
So, you did not get it correct. Make sure you fix it. Find out where you made your mistake. If you did get it correct, good job. Where's your pages that you did the work on yesterday? We're going to say, grab those. This can help you so you can actually see if you got it right or not. Number 5. This was another one where there's a whole number. So I'm going to borrow. Well, first I want to estimate. Sorry, Miss Knight was getting ahead of herself. 8 minus 6 and 1/9. 8's going to stay 8. 1/9 is really close to what benchmark? 0, half, or 1?
0.
0. So it's just going to be 8 minus 6, which is?
2.
Now, I need to make my 8 or I need to borrow my 8. That way I can make a fraction. My 8's, if I'm borrowing from it, the 8's going to become a? 7. And what do I want to make my fraction? Someone raise their hand and tell me, what should my fraction be, Zoe?
9.
9/9. Because my denominator is 9 over here. Why wouldn't I want to just make the same denominator already? So now we have 7 and 9/9 minus 6 and 1/9. 9 minus 1 is?
8.
8. My denominator is the same, and 7 minus 6 is? 1. So my answer is 1 8/9, which is really, really close to 2. Okay? Any questions there?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like these on your homework were more simple than than the work we did yesterday together, so just so how I feel. I'm not going so fast. Those were both very simple problems. I'm not trying to go fast. If I need to go slower, Zoe, you need to tell me which part. Okay? So, Carlene bought 8 and 1/16. You know what that says?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it says.
Why does mine not say yards? Mine says DS. Anyways, yards of ribbon to decorate a shirt. She only used 5 1/2. How much ribbon does she have left over? So we have 2 fractions, and we're going to be finding a difference. My bigger fraction's, of course, going to be on the top. 8 and 1/16 minus 5 1/2. Can I do this problem right now?
No.
No, I cannot subtract things that don't have the same common denominator. So I need to make the same common denominator between 16 and 2. So, guess what? Mrs. Kneifel knows that 16 and 2 are both even numbers. So I'm going to leave 16 alone because I know 2 can go into 16, okay? So their least common denominator is going to be 16. Does anyone know, and if you didn't know that, all you had to do was list multiples of them until you got there. You could always use your multiplication chart as well. How many times do I need to multiply 2 to get to 16?
8.
8 times. 8 times 1 is 8.
8.
So now I have 116 minus 8 16ths. Can I do that?
No.
No, I cannot do that. So I am going to borrow from my friend the 8. I'm going to show you both ways just like we did yesterday. But first I'm going to borrow from my friend the 8. If I decide to borrow from my friend the 8, then I have to add a whole to this. My 8 becomes a 7. My 1 becomes a 17 over 16 minus 5 and 8 16ths. 17 minus 8 is 9 over 16. 7 minus 5 is 2. Now let's do it when we multiply the denominator and the whole number. Either way, remember, is totally fine. So, go back to our original problem. First, we have to multiply 16 times 8, which Mrs. Kneifel does not know off the top of her head, so I'm going to do it over here. 6 times 8 is 48. Carry 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now I have plus my 1. So now I have 129 over 16 minus 16 times 5, which is something.
Plus 70.
Is it?
Yeah, it's 70.
No, I think it's 80 because 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3 is 30. So 30 plus 8 is 38 over 16. No, wait, it's 80. Oh, this is not big. It is 88. So now I have these big numbers, 129 minus 88 over 16. Well, guess what? I need to do that problem over here. 129 minus 88, which is 41 over 16. How many times can 16 go into 41? Anyone know? I already have my multiples over there. 16, 32. Well, one more than 32 would be too much. So it can go in 2 times with 9 and 16 left. So no matter what way you did it, you got 2 and 9 16ths. Now, remember, either way is totally fine. Depending on the numbers, I think sometimes it's easier to borrow or sometimes it's easier to do this. When we have really, really big numbers like 16 times 8, multiples I already don't know, that's a lot of extra math, where over there, I only had to do a little bit of math. But it is completely up to you whether you want to borrow from the fraction or if you want to multiply to make improper fractions. I don't care. You just have to do one of them, okay? Abby's going to erase the board. I'm going to flip to the back side. And you had to do 1, 3, and 5. One, 3, and 5. Yeah, you have to go fast if you want that job. All right. Natalia picked 7 and 1/6 bushes of apples today and 4 and 5/8 bushes yesterday. How many bushes did she pick today? What?
It's bundles.
This is bushes. Oh, it says how many more. See, that's Mrs. Kneifel. Mrs. Kneifel missed this little thing that said more. How many more? So we're finding a difference between today and yesterday. Well, today is bigger, so that's going to be my fraction on the top. Minus 4 and 5/8. Can I do this problem right this second? No, I need to find a common denominator. So I'm going to list multiples of 8 and multiples of 6. 6 is 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. 8 is 8, 16, 24. My least common multiple is
24.
Fabulous. So I'm going to rewrite both my fractions over here. How many times did I multiply 6 to get to 24?
4.
4. So 4 times 1 is 4. How many times did I multiply 8 to get to 24?
3.
3. And 3 times 5 is 15. So now, still can't do the problem because I can't take 15 away from 4. So now I have to decide, do I want to borrow from my whole number or do I want to turn them into improper fractions? For me personally, a problem like this where I have to do 24 times 7, that's going to be a lot more work than if I just borrow from my 7. So I'm going to borrow from my 7. My 7 is going to become a 6, and then I need to add a whole to this. 24 plus 4 is 28 over 24 minus 4 and 15 24ths. Okay? Now I just have to do 28 minus 15, which is a pretty simple problem. It's 13 over 24. 6 minus 4 is 2 bushels. She picked 2 and 13 24ths bushels more today than yesterday. Fun fact. All right. This one. Some of us forgot how to do problems like these, but we can't forget how to do problems like these. So that's why we're practicing. See, spiral. All right. The accountant charged $35 for the first hour of work and $23 for each hour after that. He earned a total of $127. How many hours did he work? So I have a total number of hours. So I'm not going to be adding anything up because I already have my total. So hour 1, $35. 2 through question mark is $23. So what should I do with the number 35? I'm not dividing with 35. Calvin and Eliana, you guys got to go. What should I do? Because 35 is only going to happen one time. So I need to blank it from my total. Baby, subtract it from my total. 7 minus 2 is 5. Borrow 9. Now I have 95 left, okay?
It's 35, not 30.
That's my bad. So we have 92 left. Now, we know he's already worked 1 hour, but now we need to know how many other hours he worked. And each one of these hours is 23. So we could subtract 23 a ton of times till we get to 0, or we could do things simpler and just divide by 23. Well, Mrs. Kneifel knows 25. 23 is really close to 25, so I'm going to try on the side 23 times 4 and see what I get. Oh, look, 92. So 4 times. So I have 4 hours over here and 1 hour over here. So how many hours total did he work? I have 4 hours over there and 1 hour right here. How many did he work total?
5.
5 hours. Bree, when I helped you yesterday, I forgot about the first hour. I only said 4. My bad. So we have to add that first hour. That was $35. So he worked a total of 5 hours, okay? And last but not least, write 500,115 written in standard form. So 500 million is a 5, 0, 0, comma, there's nothing in the thousands, but they still need place value, 0, 0, 0, comma, 115. That is that number written in standard form. 500 million, nothing in the thousands, 115. $500 million. There's nothing in the thousands, but they still need placeholders. 115. What questions do we currently have about our beautiful homework? Anything? Yes, no, maybe so. If not, Malik is going to pick up the pen. Zoe's going to erase the board. And we're going to head on to the next section. 500 today, Eric, you have had a lot of snacks already this morning, okay? So go throw the trash away. Don't just shove it in your desk. And let's leave our mask on for the rest of math. So today we're going to talk about adding and subtracting fractions, same way we have been, but we're going to create a pattern or create a sequence. So a pattern of numbers, just off the top of our head, if I put what's my pattern here? What am I doing for all these numbers? Eric?
Going up by 5.
Yep, plus 5. Okay, plus 5. Each time in between it's adding 5. What if I did 2, 3.5, 5? What's that? Isaiah?
You added 1.5.
Added 1.5. What if I did this? Phoebe?
Minus 2.
-2. So that's what we're going to be doing today, which we've done things like this in the past, but instead we're going to be using fractions. That's all, okay? Same thing. We're going to be finding the pattern with the numbers, but it's fractions instead of regular whole numbers. Okay? Once again, when we're doing adding and subtracting mixed numbers or fractions, it is time consuming. You cannot finish it in 5 seconds. That's just not going to happen. Just letting you know. Everyone repeat with me. Not going to happen.
Not gonna happen.
Okay. So, let's unlock the problem. If I can find the page. Mr. Patrick. How nice. Wants to develop a new chili recipe for his restaurant. Each batch he makes uses a different amount of chili powder. The first batch uses 3.5 ounces. The second batch uses 5 5/6 ounces. The third uses 6 1/6 ounces, and the fourth uses 7 1/2. If this pattern continues, how much powder will he use in the 6th batch? So, we have to find out how much is in between, how much he's adding each batch. And then, if we know how much he's adding each batch, we can easily add that amount to the 5th one and then to the 6th one. So this one kind of already, they already helped us out a little bit. But we have to find the sequence or the pattern by comparing one term to the next. So you have to look at 2 terms. It doesn't really matter which 2 terms you look at, as long as you're looking at pairs right next to each other. So we have to write the terms in sequence as equivalent fractions with a common denominator. So that is step number 1, is we have to make a common denominator. So our denominators so far are 2, 6, 6, and 2. So I need to make a common denominator between all of those. So I'm going to list multiples of 6. 6, 12. I'm going to list multiples of 2. 2, 4, 6. So all of my denominators are going to be what? 6. So do I even need to change 4 5/6 or 6 1/6?
No.
No. So I'm just going to write those right over here because they're already done. I don't even need to change them, okay? They're safe and sound. But I do need to change 3.5 and 7.5, okay? So how do I change half? I need to make my denominator a 6. And how many times do I multiply 2 to get to 6?
3.
3. 3 times 1 is 3. And same thing over here. It's still a half, so it's going to be 3/6 again. So here is my new numbers. So they already helped us out and did a little bit for us. They already told us how much is in between each one, but if they didn't have that number there, plus 1 2/6, how would I find out what's in between those? How would I find out what's in between those? Isaiah? By subtracting. So let's just double check and make sure the book is right. We'll take 4/6 minus 3 2/6. Or, sorry, 3 3/6. 5 minus 3 is 2/6. 4 minus 1, or 4 minus 3 is 1. So in between each one of these numbers, they added 1 2/6 and 1 2/6. Okay, each time that's what they're adding. So now if this continues, well, first off, each time it goes forward, it's 1 2/6. By the way, don't forget 1 2/6 is equal to 1 1/3. Remember that because that can be simplified, but we needed to have the same denominator. So the rule is to add 1 2/6. I'm going to put in parentheses 1 1/3 each time. Okay, that's the rule. We add 1 2/6 parentheses 1 1/3 because that would be it in its simplest form. So now we need to figure out step 3. We need to figure out sequence 6. How much is in the 6th batch? Well, in order to find out how much is in the 6th batch, we need to find out what? How much is in the
Fifth.
The 5th. If I need to find out the 6th, I have to find out the 5th first. So we ended with 7 1/2, but we already made the equivalent fraction for 7 1/2. What is the equivalent fraction for 7 1/2? 7 and what? 3 what?
7, 6.
Yep, and then we have to add what to this?
1 2/6.
1 2/6. Perfect. So 5 plus 2 is, 3 plus 2 is 5 over 6. 7 plus 1 is 8. So my 5th one is 8 5 6. Now, how do I figure out my 6th one? Abby?
You add 8 5 6 with 1 2/6.
Yep, all we do is add our pattern 1 2/6 to our 5th one. 5 and 6 is 7. Denominator 6 stays the same. And 8 plus 1 is 9. Can I leave it like this, though? No, because that's an improper fraction, and we could get rid of a whole. So if we subtracted a whole, that would be 6 over 6, which makes 9 become what?
10.
10. And then we'd be left with 1/6. Okay? What questions are we having so far? We are finding a pattern each time. Finding a pattern. I know you're not paying attention, sir, so I'm going to need you to start. Okay. What questions are we having? Any?
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, we're going to keep on practicing. Finding some more patterns. So each time we have to find the difference between two numbers to figure out the rule, but then we just fill in the missing numbers. So find the unknown terms in the sequence. So this one we have 4 3/4, 1 9/16, 1 3/8, 1 3/16, blank, 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 7/16, 1/4. So first off, is this pattern adding or is this pattern subtracting? Are we going to be subtracting in this pattern or adding? Are the numbers going up or down? Are the numbers going up or down? Look at the numbers. We start with 1 3/4 and we end with 1/4. So are we going up or down? Everyone show me with your hands. If you're going up, give me a thumbs up. If we're going down, give me a thumbs down. Yes, we're going down, which means our rule is going to be subtraction. So the first thing we need to do is make our numbers have what? The same what?
Denominator.
Denominator. So my denominators so far are 4, 16, 8, 16, 16, 4. Does anyone know? Anyone know before I even get started what my thing's going to be? Abby?
16.
Yeah, 16. All of these have 16 in common. So I do not even need to change all of them. The ones that I do not need to change, I'm just going to write right here, right away. 16s. But the other ones we do need to change. So my first one is 1 3/4. How many times do I multiply 4 to get to 16? Anyone know? 4 times. 4 times 3 is
12.
12. The next one, how many times do I multiply 8 to get to 16?
2.
2. 3 times 2 is?
6.
6. Those ones. And then over here, how many times do I multiply 4 to get to 16?
4.
4. And 1 times 4 is?
4.
4. So now we have all the same denominator. So now we have to find out the pattern so we can fill in the missing ones. How do I find out the pattern? I take two numbers and do what with them? Find the what?
Subtract them.
I subtract them because I need to find the
Least. Pattern?
Yeah, but what am I finding?
The number that you have to
The
subtract.
difference.
The
I'm
difference.
finding the difference between two numbers. I'm just going to take the first numbers because that's easy. Some of you probably can see what the pattern is without even subtracting it, but we're going to do it anyways. 1 and 12/16 minus 1 and 9/16. Well, 12 minus 9 is 3 over 16. 1 minus 1 is 0. So what is my rule, everyone? Yep. Subtract 3 over 16. Okay? We have to subtract 3 over 16. So now we need to do that for all of these. Okay? We have 3 blank ones. So in order to find the first blank one, what number am I subtracting from what? Abby.
Subtracting 1 and 3/16 minus 3/16.
Yeah. 1 and 3/16 minus 3/16, which gives me what, everyone?
1.
1. Just plain old 1. 3/16 minus 3/16 is going to be nothing. So this one is 1. Now, to find my next pattern, I'm subtracting what from what? Someone I haven't really talked to. Ethan, what am I doing for the next one? What am I subtracting from what?
You are subtracting 3 over 16.
From what? From what number? 1, yeah. So 1 minus 3/16. Okay, well, that's confusing. How do I make this 1 a fraction? I'm just going to turn it into a fraction, but what denominator am I going to automatically use to make my life super duper simple? Isabel?
16.
Yeah, so I'm going to change 1 to 16 over 16, and that's a whole. So now I have 16 minus 3. What is 16 minus 3? Claire? 13. So now the next one is 13 over 16. Great. And now my last one. What am I subtracting from what from my last one? Bree, what number am I subtracting from what from my last one? What number are we subtracting? It's our rule. 3/16. And I'm taking 3/16 away from from what number?
13/16.
Yeah, 13/16. 13 minus 3 is 10. Denominator stays the same. So here it is 10/16. Okay, so each one of those, we subtracted 3/16. And you can clearly see our pattern. 10 minus 7 would be 3/16. 7 minus 4 would be 3/16. What questions are we currently having? You see how this is time consuming?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to take time. I'm going to scroll down and we're going to try some more together. Yay!
Now you have to use it with you.
Yeah. I thought I wasn't all the way down over there, but I was. Okay, so write the rule for the sequence, find the unknown terms. So, our terms are 1 and 1/12, 5/6, 1/3, 1/12. Is our rule going to be subtracting or is our rule going to be adding, Malik? Look at those numbers again.
No.
Yeah, because we're getting smaller. We're starting with a whole. And then the next one doesn't even have a full whole, so this one's going to be subtracting something. What is my first step to find the missing pairs? Or the missing number? What do I need to do first? What do I need to do first? Zoe, what do I do first with fractions so I can add and subtract them? Yeah, find my least common denominator. So I have 12. I have 6. And I have 3. 3, 6, 9, 12. What is my least common denominator, everyone?
12.
12. So I don't need to change the last fraction or the first term because those already have 12. So I need to change the 2 in the middle, and then we need to figure out the 1 in the center. So how many times do I multiply 6 to get to 12? 2 times. So 2 times 5 is? Anyone know?
10.
10. Thank you. How many times do I multiply 3 to get to 4? Or 3 to get to 12? I just said the answer. 4. 4 times 1 is 4. So I need to find out what my difference is here. So I'm going to tell you. We definitely could use this first pair, what we'd have to borrow from that whole. I would rather use these 2 pairs in the back because those numbers are going to be easier to subtract. We're not going to have to borrow anything. Because we can easily do 4 minus 1. And what is 4 minus 1?
3.
3. So 3/12, which in parentheses would be 1/4 if we simplified, is what we're subtracting. That is our rule. So now we have 10/12 and we need to minus 3/12. 10/12 minus 3/12 would be what? What's 10 minus 3? 7/12. So that is our missing number. 7/12, and our rule is to subtract 3/12, but in parentheses I wrote 1/4 because that would be it in its simplest form. That one didn't even take us very much time. That took us like 3 minutes. Okay?
Okay.
Questions? Okay, this next one's a little bit different. They're only giving us 1 digit, okay? They're only giving us 1 digit. It says start at 1/4, add 3/8. So they already gave us the rule. They're telling us to add 3/8 each time. But can I add 3/8 to 1/4? No, I need to change my fraction. What would 1/4 be to add 3/8? I need to change the denominator to 8. And I can easily do that because 2 times 4 is 8. So now I have 2 8s plus 3 8s. What is 2 plus 3? 5 8s. And now what do I do with 5 8s? I need to add what to it? 3 8s. What is 5 plus 3? 8. So now I have 8/8, which actually would be a whole. So I'm going to circle that 1. And now I have 1 plus 3 8s, which would just be what, everyone? 1 and? That's it. 1 and 3 8s, okay? That one only took us like 45 seconds, okay? So some of them are going to be really time consuming and some of them are going to be able to go through quickly, okay? So this one gave us the rule and we had to find all the digits, okay? Or all the terms. Questions? All right, let's do about 2 or 3 more together, and then I will give you some time to work on your homework, okay? Does that sound good? That way, if you have questions, I can help you. Because remember, tomorrow I will not be here. So for math class, I recorded math class. So I'm going to be going over homework with you virtually and teaching the lesson to you virtually tomorrow. If you guys get confused on something tomorrow, no big deal. I'll be back here Friday, okay? I have a math thing. Remember a math caravan? It's for school. It's like a little. Mrs. Aiko is also not going to be here. Well, if you're not here tomorrow, you're still going to have work. It'll just be virtual. No. We're not done.
If we're not here,
Yeah, but you'll still have work. It'll be an e-learning day. If we get a snowstorm tonight, you'll still have school tomorrow. It'll be e-learning. It will not be a snow day. It'll be e-learning. So, write the rule for the sequence. We have 1/4, 1/2, 3/4. First off, are these getting bigger or are they getting smaller? Gabby, are these numbers getting bigger or smaller? Bigger. So, it's going to be adding something. So, now I need to change all these to the same common denominator. What's my common denominator going to be between 2 and 4?
4.
4. So I need to make this one a 4. And 2 to get to 4 is twice. So 2 times 1 is 2. So I have 1/4 to 2/4 to 3/4. So without me even subtracting anything to find a difference, can anyone look at that pattern and see what I'm adding each time? Ethan? 1/4. That's it. So that means what would be my next one? What's 3/4 plus 1/4?
A whole.
A whole. 4/4 or 1 whole. But that one took us almost no time. Okay. See that one?
Mm-hmm.
That was simple. Okay. Next one, we have 1/9, 1/3, 5/9. Are we getting bigger or are we getting smaller, Zuri?
Bigger.
I said Zuri.
Sorry.
Yeah, so we're going to be adding something. So I'm going to write add here so I know that for later. I need to find a common denominator between 9 and 3. 9, 18. 3, 6, 9. What's my common denominator? 9. So I do not even need to change 1/9 or 5/9. I need to change my middle one, though. How many times do I multiply 3 to get to 9?
3.
3. And 3 times 1 is?
9. 3.
3 times 1 is 3, Eric.
3 times what?
So now I have 1/9, 3 9s, 5 9s. What am I adding to get to the next term each time? Isabel, what am I adding from 1/9? No. Look, why don't you let me finish speaking before you shout out? I have 1/3 or 1/9 to 3 9. So 1/9, 2 9s, 3 9s. So how many 9s did I add?
2.
2 9s. So now I need to take 5 9s and add 2 9s. What is 5 plus 2? 7. So my new one is 7/9. Okay? Let's do 2 more together, okay? We'll do 3 and 4 together. Then I will give you your homework, all right? So, first step, I need to, am I decreasing or am I increasing? 3/10, 2/5, something, 3/5, 7/10. So those numbers are kind of confusing, but if I start at 3/10 and get to 7/10, am I going up or am I going down? I'm going, Alicia said it over here, up. So I'm adding something. And step number 1, what do I need to do? I need to make them all have the same common denominator. Does anyone know a common denominator between 5 and 10? 10. So I don't need to change my first fraction or my last fraction. I do need to change the ones in the middle. How many times do I multiply 5 to get to 10?
2.
2 times 2 is? 4. My blank terms here. How many times do I multiply 5 to get to 10? 2. And 2 times 3 is?
6.
So I have 3/10, 4/10, something, 6/10, 7/10. What am I adding each time? I'm adding what?
1/10.
1/10. I'm only going up by 1. So this would be 5/10. Or, what is 5/10? What can that be reduced to?
Half.
So I'm going to circle that. That way we know. 5/10 would give us the same denominator, but 1/2 is it in its simplest form. And we're just going up by 1/10 each time. All right, number 4 is going to be a little bit tricky. It's bigger numbers, so let's power through that one together. And then I will give you your homework, okay? So we have 10 and 2/3, 9 and 11/18, 8 and 5/9, something, and 6, 4/9. So, am I subtracting, getting smaller, or am I getting bigger, Rush? Those numbers, are they getting smaller or are they getting bigger? They're going down, which means we are what, everyone? Subtracting. So now what do I need to do? I need to make sure all of my fractions have what?
The same denominator.
The same denominator. I have 18, 9, and 3. Does anyone know numbers that are the same with these? Anyone?
18.
18. So I do not need to change 9 and 11/18, but I do need to change the rest. How many times do I multiply 3 to get to 18? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 2 is what?
12.
12. So now I have 10 and 12 over 18. 9 and 11 eighteenths. And now my next term. How many times do I multiply 9 to get to 18?
2.
2. 2 times 5 is?
10.
So I have 8 and 10 over 18. This is my blank term. We don't know it yet. And 6 and 4 nines. How many times do I multiply 9 to get to 18?
2.
2. 4 times 2 is 8. So I have 6 over 8 and 18. Now how do I find out what my rule is? We know we're subtracting, but how do I know what my rule is? I have to do what? Ethan?
Subtract 8 and 18 from 9 and 11.
Yeah, I just have to pick two numbers and subtract them. 12 minus 11 is?
1.
1. My denominator 18 stays the same. 10 minus 9 is?
1.
1. So each time I am subtracting 1 and 1/18. So now to find my missing digit, I'm going to take 8 and 10/18, and I'm going to subtract 1 and 1/18. 10 minus 1 is what?
9.
9 over 18, and 8 minus 1 is?
7.
7. And technically, 9 over 8 is a half. So I'm going to circle that for later. And you can see 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. That would be, we're subtracting 1 each time and 1/18. We have 12/18, 11/18, 10/18, 9/18, 8/18. So our number clearly fits the pattern. Okay? Yay?
Yay.
Questions? I know it's a little bit challenging. It's okay. But you can do it. I have to remember what your homework is. I already filled it. Okay, I want you to turn to 193. 193. I made 199.
No, it's 390.
399. Whatever 99, friends. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want you to circle 3, 5, and 7.
Yeah.
Not 9. 3, 5, 7. And then turn the page, and it is 1, 3, and 5. Okay? So that is 6 problems. 399, number 3, 5, and 7, and 400, number 1, 3, and 5. Okay? That is your homework due tomorrow. Now, like I already said, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. But with the guest teacher, you're going to watch me on screen, just like a normal math lesson. I went over the homework and I did the whole lesson, except for I'm just talking to myself instead of having you guys answer, okay? So it's just Mrs. Kneifel talking to herself. So we have about 15 minutes till we take a restroom break. So you have 15 minutes to begin working on your homework. You only have 6 problems, okay? Give it a try. Goodbye, friends at home.
Bye.
No.